Somebody better call my mama because we back like we never left right here on the Catch Corner podcast with your host, the world's karate champion of the world 3 times, maybe 4. I don't even know. He's been everywhere. He's been the Big Apple to the pineapple. He is Ernest the Cat Miller, and I am your co-host Ray W. Don't mean to trouble you, Keziah. We blazing fire today. This is our wrestling roundup where we talk about everything from AEW, TNA, WWE, all the pay-per-views, all the good stuff. But before we get started, we got to think Recite.
Before foundations, before frameworks, there's work you don't see. You won't find us in the spotlight, you'll find us in the soil. We don't just move dirt, we shape outcomes. Every grade exact, every line clean, every challenge answered. Because stability isn't built by machines, it's built by people who show up, rain or shine, and figure it out. When pressure's on, when the clock's running, you don't just need dirt moved, you need people you can count on. Recite, built on trust, ready for what's next.
We ready for what's next. What's up, Cat?
Hey, listen here. Listen, I'm going right into it. I want to talk about AEW and the steps it's taking to really, they're really trying to top WWE. They're trying to come out on top. I mean, these guys are working hard, man, because that blood and gut pay-per-view.
Well, it wasn't a pay-per-view. It was live on TBS.
It was live
pay-per-view quality.
But it should have been pay-per-view, man, because those guys were working their ass off. I mean, they were working, man. So some of the matches I saw, man, it was like crazy. And you know, I haven't really watched the content, but now I will just say, I got a little time. Let me watch this and see what's going on, see what some of my friends are doing. And man, listen, I'm telling you, that show was Tony Khan is doing a pretty good job over there.
Well, the last night was a little different flavor. They started out with blood and guts with the girls, 5-on-5. It's much like the Survivor Series, except theirs is a little bloodier. I love that 2-ring, that big cage over the top of it. It looked great on TV. The other matches they had, but Hangman and our boy, good Lord,
Powerhouse
Hobbs' neck and shoulders. My goodness.
Hey, let me tell you something. Did you see what he did? Some kind of somersault flip over to the tabletop and bounced up off his ass. Bounced.
Unbelievably athletic.
Bro, that's not athleticism. That's not being athletic. That's me taking a hard ass bump.
He did.
Do you know he might be, how old is he now, you think?
I don't know, man. He's like 30, I think.
Listen, this dude is 30 years old. That's going to come back. They're going to hunt his ass. That bump right there, because, listen, you can do it now, but this might show up later. And these guys are working like that. Like you said, this was not even a pay-per-view.
It was just straight up live TV.
Live TV, and they giving it at all like that. The only thing about this right here, like, where do you go next?
It's kind of hard to top that, isn't it?
It's hard. That's what I'm saying, especially if you're giving it away. Giving away. One person said they didn't just give it away. She said, "Listen, I got some great seats for $30." So they really picking their nose.
Well, they were in Greensboro last night. We're Greensboro. There's something happened. I don't know what happened, but Flair was advertised to be there and was not there, but Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was.
Flair, Stevie Ray was there. Flair came and he had to leave. He had to leave because he had something going on. So
I don't know. Was he there? I never saw him.
Yeah, he was there. But he left early. So the main things, man, they were talking about though at this AEW on Blood and Guts is that, one lady says we didn't have to pay an arm and a leg to see pro wrestling.
No, $30 seats. That speaks for itself.
And people look at that, but is that good to get a free show like that to where guys will go? I mean, Did you see the cage fight?
Oh yeah, both of them, all of them.
Did you see the 5-on-5?
Yeah, I saw the woman that kicked the women's kicked it off, and then the men's closed the show. It was great. I mean, it's just a lot of blood, a lot of guts, like they said, blood and guts. It was blood everywhere.
But sometimes that may be good. It's good for a spark. You know,
well, they're trying to name the AEW fans sickos. So they're catering to the sickos, they call them sickos.
Well, listen, that may be good, man, but these guys, I hope these guys getting paid to be able to do this. I mean, listen, if you grow up dreaming of being a pro wrestler, that's good because you get to see the wrestlers on TV waving your hand, heroes, bad guys, good guys. But guess what? They take a toll on your body. And if not all physically, it's mental too. To be a wrestler, man, you got to be mentally strong. You got to be prepared. You got to be able to coach yourself. You got to be able to help yourself heal. You got to be able to motivate yourself, make yourself go to sleep. These are things that we take for granted. But when you're a pro wrestler, man, it's hard to listen. After a match, let's say Monday Night Nitro, my match was at 5th on the card. That's about 9 o'clock. I drive back to the hotel once the match get over. I drive back to the hotel. I get there about maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. I try to eat a little bit. And then I try to take a shower, relax, and all wine. Man, that's the hardest thing in the world to do, was to go to sleep after you finish a Monday night show because all the energy. That's the hardest thing, Big Ray.
That adrenaline is real. That adrenaline don't.
I didn't go to sleep maybe until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll fall off just long enough, 3 or 4 hours to get up, then go to the next time, do it again. But it's hard, man. It's mentally hard. But some people love that part of being there and going through what I just explained. But then there's a part of pro wrestling that people don't think about. It's people who grew up wanting to be a wrestler. People who went through the steps. When I said the steps, they went through finding a school to go to, working, getting into school, going through class, training, getting yourself ready, taking bumps, not making any money, going on the show, going on the road, doing these shows, driving. I mean, that's a whole lifestyle right there. It's a whole lifestyle. So
they make you earn it. They make you earn it. They ain't giving it to you.
No,
you gonna travel these roads.
Big Ray, you can't speak on this now. You never went through that process. You can't speak on it.
You didn't either.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You didn't.
Yes, I did. But I did it.
You were discovered, bro. You were like American Idol.
See, that's what you want to say. But I did it. I did it during the time I was working. Once I got in there, I had to travel the road. We talking about
but you got paid. You got paid to travel.
It's still the same, Big Ray.
No, it ain't. When a guy has to go to a school, has to pay his hard-earned money. Man, they paid you to come. They paid you to come learn.
See, that's what people like you think. Money is always the key to everything. No, it's not the money.
It ain't the same.
Listen, it's not the money. These guys are not wrestling just for the money. They want to be billionaires. Guys are wrestling because they want to. Hold up, wait a minute. Guys are wrestling because, like Goldberg ain't just wrestling because he's making millions of dollars. Goldberg didn't know how much money he was gonna make. Goldberg came into the business just to wrestle. That's the career he chose, and he made it.
He will tell you with his own mouth, it's about the money, bro. He wasn't a huge fan of wrestling.
Bro, I talk to Goldberg every day. He may tell you that it's about the money, but this is not about the money, right? Wrestling is not about the money. To a lot of people, it may be
to a lot of people. You're right.
Let me tell you something now. I talked to Shane Helms, one of the producers over at WWE. He said to me these very words. He said, "Cat, These young guys are making millions of dollars wrestling. So I'd rather wrestle than be in this producing suit by producing the shows and wearing this suit backstage. These guys are making millions of dollars of wrestling now. And guess what he said they're still doing? Quitting. They still quit and go do other things. So you don't know what you're talking about. Wrestling is not wrestling.
You and I are on two different. You and I are on two different wavelengths right now.
Yeah,
I'm
but
telling you,
hold
guys
on.
Guys that love this business will go travel and do it for free. That's all I'm saying.
No, will.
I've seen these people. I know some guys that have went on the circuit and did it for free. $25 matches, $75 matches, $100 matches. You know, drive $200 to make drive 200 miles to make $100, and sleep in their car and blah 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 blah. And now, one of them went all the way. I mean, AEW tag team champion several times over. I mean, those guys love the business. What I'm talking about, they eat, sleep, and breathe the business. And would do it for free.
Big Ray, you talking to a wrestler like I don't know what a wrestler do. I'm telling you,
your road to stardom was a lot quicker and a lot more paved than a few of my buddies that are still grinding on the indies and still doing it.
That may be true, but you still had to go through the same thing to get to where you want to get in the business. Yeah. Some people start like me and don't get over. Some people start like me, they get kind of carried and put into a position. And they didn't get over. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not always about the money. Money is not that professional motivation that you want to look for just to be a pro wrestler. Because you look at some of these guys.
It's all of it.
You what?
It's money. It's fame. It's show business. It's all of it. It's the women.
You know what? That's why I like to talk to some of these young guys who are getting in the business. They'll tell us themselves what it is, because you don't know how much money you're going to make in this business.
True.
You don't know how much money you're going to make in this business. And I can tell you this, there's no amount of money that people will take if you said, what about the end? Look at Lex Luger, millions of dollars, but look at him now. He in a wheelchair. He can barely move. Look at these wrestlers. Look what this career do to you. And they see this and they still want to be in the business.
Because of the love of the game, baby.
No. Now you flip-flopping, bro.
I said it's about the love. I said the guys would do it for free and have done it for free because they love the sport. They love the business.
You said Goldberg does it for the money.
I listened to his documentary. I encourage you to do it. He said, when I got done with football, I didn't know what I was going to do. And then my accountant said, you better check into this because he didn't realize how much money you could make being a pro wrestler.
Hey, Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Hey, Goldberg. Did you say that you would rather work and make money, and that's why you want to be a wrestler? You want to do it for the money, not the honey? Did you say that?
The honey?
Yeah, Big Ray said you said you're going to do everything. You go, hey, okay, I'll tell him that. Ray, he said you can kiss his ass because he did not say that.
Am I next?
He didn't say that, Big Ray. Nobody does this for money.
You're next.
Nobody does it for money. Now, people want to get paid because they see there's a way to make money. But I believe if you're working a 9 to 5, most of the time you're doing it for money. When you're working a regular job, you're doing it for money. You're looking for money because you got to pay bills. But when you get into something like pro wrestling, it's not the money that draw you in. It's a total of everything. Now, the money can keep you there because you get to buy stuff. You get to do stuff. But I bought my house, 6,000 square foot.
Quit bragging.
I bought my house, and I didn't even live in my house the first 3 years.
You traveled.
I was on the road. I had this beautiful home. I just didn't have time to spend no time in there, but my mother and my kids spent time in there. Right so on. I wasn't doing it for the money. I wasn't saying I got to go get over. I got to go get over. I got to go. That's part of growing up. That's what grown men do. We work to make money to bring home.
You was already making money when they found you. You wasn't broke when they found you.
First of all, I was never lost, so you can't tell me somebody found me like I was a little dog on the side of the corner. You understand what I'm saying?
Joe used a little cat in a little box, and they said, "Look at this little cute little kitty. Let's get him and let's take him to the power
See,
plant and let's turn him
play
into."
around. You want to play around? I want to get somebody on here because we started out. We got all this stuff to talk about, and we started out, and you already went off the road. I need to talk to another wrestler.
Okay.
I mean, and we got one who's coming with us, but we ain't bringing him up right now. But he's coming with us, and I want to hear his story because I want to talk to you about it. I want him to hear this conversation.
Well, he's heard 15 minutes of it.
Listen, I want to. Hey, Cody, did nobody tell you to bring him up, Cody?
You did good, Cody. You did good.
Take him back, Cody. He ain't ready yet.
Shout out, Cody.
You can't take him off.
Shout out, Cody, baby.
No,
we appreciate Cody.
Don't take him. He needs this camera time.
Let me take his ass. Cody, you can kiss my ass.
Brandon, don't. Hey, he's gone, Brandon. It's me and you, baby.
Yo, hey, Brandon. Listen here, Brandon. Let me tell you this, Brandon. You heard what we just went through, that conversation, right? Now, Brandon is this kind of guy. Brandon is this kind of guy, the same guy I'm talking about. I've seen the road that he's traveling and just he's taking to get to a life in the world that a lot of people couldn't imagine being a part of. That's a superstar wrestler, professional wrestler. You know, but this kid right here could be anything. He's smart, he's bright. And, you know, some of the stuff he do, he didn't get paid for. Some of the things he did, you know, people don't even recognize you for it. You know, I was a heel. Most people did not look at me when I was wrestling because I was going to lose. I had to make the other guy look good. So with me doing that, that's me. I'm giving up that fame. I'm giving up the glamour, the life. I'm doing a job. Listen, I want to make somebody else look good. If you make somebody else look good, that's when you're a good teammate. That's when you get over. Ric Flair made people look good, losing. And people still came out raving. Ain't shit I can do to make you look no better. You look like shit.
You can't shine me up, Cat.
Okay.
What kind of tag team partner?
Brandon, give us a little detail about your road to where you started. How did you get into wrestling? What made you? I know you've been on the show before, but Brandon, I've seen your work. You should be in one of the top promotion right now. I'm not just saying that. You should be in one of the top promotion right now. How did you get started on your journey?
So honestly, like everybody, loved wrestling growing up. You know, watched it every week with my dad and my grandparents, things like that. Was at every pay-per-view that was on back in the days when you had to pay for pay-per-view, although it seems like that's coming back now. So yeah, just with my love in it. And I was an athlete, much like yourself. I went into karate. That was my first sport, got a first degree black belt, transitioned that into amateur wrestling. My first day of amateur wrestling, I asked my mom, hey, where's the ring? Like, I didn't know there was such thing as pro wrestling and amateur wrestling, you know? So I did amateur wrestling, excelled in that, wound up winning state in high school. From there, went to college, had fun in college. It was in college that I was just researching different schools for pro wrestling because I was like, you know what? I've always dreamt of this. I'm working for a degree for my parents. This isn't like what I want. I never wanted to go to college. I wanted to like go wrestle and do all this stuff, you know? So as I'm researching these things, long and behold, where I'm going to school, there's actually a pro wrestling school there. So I was like, oh, okay.
Where was that? Where was that?
Statesboro, Georgia. So the first school I ever attended was called APW, American Premier Wrestling. It's where you might know her, Lacey Evans, Macy Estrella. She was with WWE. She trained there. Couple other people had been through there. Johnny Swinger spent a lot of time with Tom. Tom, the head trainer, he actually wrote Dr. Tom Pritchard's book and Dr. Death Steve Williams' book. He's a literature professor, so he kind of met those guys through wrestling and wrote their books. But anyways, so started training with him. Within the first 6 months, I quickly looked around and realized oh man, I'm the best one here just because my athletic background, not because I know anything about pro wrestling. I need to go out. If I want to do this and chase this, I need to find somewhere that's better, somewhere else that can train me. And I'm the low dog on the pole, you know? So long and behold, started researching schools in your neighborhood, Atlanta. That's when I came across QT Marshall And way back in the day when it was just One Fall Factory before Nightmare Factory took over and all that stuff. So as soon as I graduated, I walked across the stage, got my diploma, packed whatever would fit in my 2007 Dodge Ram, started driving up to Atlanta. Didn't have any place to live. I just called a random apartment complex on the way up there that was 15 minutes from the school because I figured that was a good enough drive in Atlanta. Called them on the way. I was like, hey, can I get an apartment? And they're like, oh, you want to set up a tour? And I was like, no, like I'm driving to you. I need a place to sleep tonight. Like, what can I do? So they got me an apartment, got me keys. I paid them the deposit and first month's rent. And then I wound up living there and started training with QT. And much like I had already known, I had no clue about the business at all. So shout out to QT for opening my eyes and the school. That's where me and Kat actually met. So he can tell you about those good old days.
So this is what I want you to talk to Big Ray and people who have never been in the ring like that.
Yeah.
How hard was it? How many days a week did you guys practice?
So we trained Tuesday through Thursday, so 3 days a week, and then we had Saturdays optional. We were there every Saturday if we could be. So realistically, 4 days a week. With that, obviously moving to Atlanta where I'd never been in my life before, I had a job. I wound up getting 2 jobs just to make rent and make payments to the school. Because as you described, going to a wrestling school isn't free. There's no tuitions, there's no scholarships, none of that, right? It's all something that you have to want, you have to do. So paying for the tuition for the school, paying for my rent, little things like food, things like that, So I wound up working 2 serving jobs. And yeah, man, much like you were saying, not necessarily the adrenaline, but like there was nights where me and QT, because I just wanted knowledge, I wanted to learn, I wanted to get better. Me and QT would just wrestle like till 3 a.m. And then I'd go home, I'd get a couple hours of sleep and be up by 9 a.m. to go to my first serving job of the day, So it does take a special person. It's very hard. Like you said, the mental aspect of it is very, very important and taxing. And especially in our world, I feel like Kat can attest to this. Men in general, and especially athletes, men's athletes, we don't like to talk about our struggles or our mental health or things like that, right? So when you actually have guys that open up about that and talk about it and, talk about their troubles going through it all, I think that's awesome, man. Everybody should be more open about their mental health. I genuinely, I don't know another word. It's beautiful when we can talk about that stuff. Me and Kat will just talk on the phone about that stuff all the time.
Listen, I tell you this right here. It's very mental. It's draining. It drains you to where sometimes you just can't make the right decision or break through this fog you have around. You just can't break through it. Since sometimes it seems like you lost. It seems like you in the world, like you're out of control. You have no control. But then that just means sometimes you need a good night rest. Night rest. But it's hard to rest because you're trying to get somewhere. You're trying to get from where you at in your school to where? What do you want to get in this business? I mean, what's the level of pro wrestling do you want to be on?
So, I think everybody's dream is to get signed and have the contract, right? Kind of to your point earlier with your conversation, I think each individual person is different, right? For some people, the money aspect weighs very heavily on it. For others, it's just the pure love of it, right? I like to think I'm more on the pure love of things. Like if you could tell me I could go to Japan tomorrow and I'm going to make $0, but I get to wrestle in Japan for 6 months straight. Like that's my dream. I love Japan style wrestling. I think Japan's gorgeous. I went there this year and it was amazing. So I think that type of, I think it depends on the person, right? Where those things kind of weigh on a person. Money's obviously important because money makes the world go round. Nobody's going to act like it doesn't. So you do need to make sure you're making money, right? However, as Ray was saying, in the independents, there's not a lot of money to go around. Kat, you've started to kind of get out on the independents and take a couple bookings on shows, not necessarily wrestling, but doing commentating, things like that. So you're kind of seeing the independents, and Fourth Rope is such a different level as opposed to the typical indie show, right? Your typical indie show, they're not having entrances and pyro and things like that. So like you're seeing that side of it where truthfully, if it's, WWE and AEW, Fourth Rope's right here, right? They're not far below. So, it's a little bit different as opposed to what Ray's talking about of a, flea market show where you're getting a hot dog and a handshake and you're just doing it for the love of the game, right? So I think both sides are true. There's no you were right or he was right. I think
no. This is my show. I am right.
It's our show, and you're wrong.
We'll have Cody on the screen again, and me and Big Ray will just chat.
Yeah,
Brandon, how big are you? What's your measurements, dog? Let's tell the people who you are.
Whoa,
what your name is.
Big Ray, calm down. Pause.
We ain't talking about that zesty. We ain't talking about the zesty measurements. We talking about you 6'6". How big a fella are you?
I wish I was 6'6", man. No, I'm lucky. I'm 6 foot on a good day. I'm 210 pounds now. I was 230, but I leaned down a good bit.
There you go.
Yeah, I truthfully, man, my whole appeal to, I think, the fan base and why I'm able to connect with audiences the way I do is I'm just your average guy. I grew up on a dirt road on a farm. Like, I'm nothing special. It's hilarious, right?
But Brandon, you know this. Ray doesn't. Size don't make a difference.
No, it's all about your ability.
Some of the best wrestlers in the world was smaller.
Yeah.
Small. Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko.
Benoit, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, so it don't have anything to do with your size. Why do you want to find out about this guy's size? I mean,
I didn't know, because he looks like a big dude with that big beard and them big shoulders. I didn't know, because the camera, you just don't know.
I'm in shape. Don't get it twisted. I'm in shape. I'm a decently broad guy. Cat seen me in person and can attest. But
he's dedicated. That's why I'm saying he's not on this show because he wanted my friend. Or I think, he should be able to get up. This dude is on the show because he got a unique story. And we're going to get into that because right now, with some of the stuff he was telling me, he's like, okay, the school he was working at. Tell about the school you did a little work in, you were training in down in Florida.
Yeah. So I moved from Atlanta down to Jacksonville, Florida. Down here, I actually wound up meeting, everybody will know him as Dexter Loomis of WWE. He's part of the Wyatt Six. He opened his own school down the road in St. Augustine, Florida. It's called Hatchet Pro Wrestling. It was open for about a year and 6 months. Randomly, this is one of those things where, like, I just like to think my talent and my personality speaks for itself. I just went in there to work out, and I was like, hey, I just want to school a ring to train and, keep working on my craft and get people around me, because I couldn't find anything consistent in Jacksonville. So I went in there, and then the next day, Dexter, he pulled me aside. He's like, hey, can I talk to you? And I was like, oh God, what did I do? Like, I'm in trouble on day 2. And he goes, hey man, like, you're very good. You're very hands-on. Like, you take time to talk to the students. Like, we appreciate that. We actually just lost our other coach. Would you be interested in becoming a coach? And I truthfully had never thought of that ever in my life, because I'm 29 years old. I've been wrestling now for 9 years. So time's been flying. And, once he asked me that, I was like, man, like, that actually sounds really cool. And like, it's a way to give back to wrestling. Cause I've not been signed or anything of that stretch of the imagination. But wrestling's given me so much. Like, I met my wife through wrestling. I have a beautiful home because of, wrestling and meeting her and all these different people I've met. I met Kat through wrestling, right? Like, Kat's one of my best friends, and he's somebody I would have never met had I not gone down this path. Right. So I was like, anything I can do to give back to the business, because I think that's a key to it. One of my favorite sayings is find it and leave it better than you find it, So
now let me ask. I hate to cut you off, but let me ask you this right here.
Yeah.
Let's get down to the serious side right
Let's
here.
do it.
Have you talked to somebody about being in the business and they said, hey, we can get you in, I can get you there, and they didn't do shit? I mean, have you been like summoned to come to this show because such and so gonna be here and they can sign you?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you definitely, when you do extra work for WWE and AEW, it's never guaranteed by any means or promise, but you kind of go there with the idea of, I'm going to get in front of some eyes, right? Like, I'm going to have a chance. Yeah. And then it is what it is. Most of the times when you go there, you're just kind of sitting around eating catering, and then you're a security guard for an extra spot, right? And that's great. That's awesome. It gives people exposure to the business.
You get a little taste. You get a little taste, right?
Yeah, but like, you'll know about this. I'm not sure if Ray will, necessarily know what I'm talking about. But back in the day, you went as an extra, you got a dark match. So you for sure got ring time. You for sure got to, get somebody's eyes on you, right? And AEW did a long period of AEW Dark where they would do dark matches and extras would get them. Now it's a little bit more select because of Ring of Honor and things like that. But with WWE, right? Like, I mean, when's the last dark match for WWE that you've heard of for an enhancement talent, right? It's typically for a superstar that's been injured, that's kind of working their way back in. Like the last time I was an extra for WWE, Gable Stevenson was on his way back from injury. So he was working dark matches, you know? So it's truthfully like you're not, the business has changed so much, obviously, but in aspects of getting eyes on you or getting that promise of, hey, come to the show, there's this person here, right? That doesn't really happen that much anymore. I've definitely heard stories about, oh, well, this guy's going to be in attendance at our indie show, so you should do it for the exposure. And then you get there and that guy's nowhere to be found, so you just wrestle for free. And I've seen that things and heard those stories. But yeah, I've never really been like promised anything like that. I'm also, Kat, you can attest to this. I've stood by this for our whole relationship. QTs I can attest to this as well. And anybody I've met in wrestling, I've never been one that I want anybody to ever stamp their name on and be like, hey, give this guy a look. I want it to be on my merit because that means so much more to me, right? And I've always believed, like, if you put your head down and you work hard enough, whatever you want will come from it,
But let me tell you something, young fella. That's okay that you want to do it by yourself. That's okay, but that's not how it's done. You got to get people to come in and team with you sometime. Sometimes it had to be a team. It makes you stronger.
Yeah. Well, so let me caveat on that, right? Like when I'm saying I don't want anybody to stand, like if somebody asked them about me, I hope they would never be like, oh, he's a terrible person, you should steer clear, right? But I don't want them to be like, oh, I'm going to make this phone call for you, because that's a little bit different, right? And I've never been one to like that kind of thing, like especially coming from amateur background. If you know anything about amateur wrestling, like yes, there's a team, there's an ultimate goal for the team. But at the end of the day, it's you on that mat alone. You control your fate. It's you and you only, right?
No. Well, that's real wrestling. We talking about. See, you can't look at what you got. Those two separate things.
You say it.
Yeah, real wrestling and professional wrestling is something totally different. Professional wrestling, it's team effort. You got to say, hey, sometimes take 2 or 3 guys to get me a dark match. 2 or 3 guys that I work with to get me a dark match. That's all you need.
I'm sure that is true as well, but I do also believe that you can make it on your own merit, not in a snobby way by any stretch of the imagination, but just like I said, just having that hard work, putting the tape out there, doing this, doing that, right? Like I think ultimately for me, like I said, if I ever do get signed, it means so much more if I know, like, okay, I did this. It wasn't because of Cat calling Norman Smiley for me, or Cat calling Shane Helms.
What the hell are you doing, bro? It take a team to get you in there. You got to know somebody who knows somebody.
Take every chance you can get.
Yeah, because the opportunity that, I'm gonna get him because I'm a good wrestler. It's a bunch of great wrestlers out there. Listen, I went from the karate floor to the wrestling to Monday Night Nitro almost. I didn't know anything about wrestling. But then if I was that kind of person to say, you know what, I got to let my wrestling get me in. I was 35. There's no way I was going to learn to wrestle like that. But what I did, I was surrounded. I looked around and I said, Chris Jericho, I got Nash, I got Hogan, Dusty Rhodes. I got all these guys around me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me
go to these guys and talk to these guys. And then they say, okay, let us come up with something for you. Cat, put a hat on. Cat, we're going to change your name from Ernest to the Cat. These came from everybody. This took a team to help build me.
For sure. So once again, I'm not saying you turn your nose up to that at all. But ultimately, let's look at it. No. Let's look at it like this, though, right?
I know what you want to be, kid, but I ain't going to let you go down that road. You don't have to do nothing by yourself. You feel like that because I felt like that at a few times, because I'm in this business. I don't know who to talk to. I'm gonna go ask this guy. How I'm gonna go ask this guy how to do this, and he gonna then feel trust that he giving me the right information. Because what this may help me do is lift me above him.
And he won't like that.
And he ain't go. They don't. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're not gonna like it because it was some people wanted to do that. Lift you up. Now you can come back and lift me up. sooner or later.
That's
So that's how the business you want the business to run. But if you get y'all young guys coming in thinking, I got to come in this way. No, bro, you got to get in how you want to fit in. And once you get in there, it's all about now you got to learn what business, what do I have to do to stay here? What do I have to do? Okay, I'm here at WWE. I'm here. John Ace just signed me. I'm here. Now, what do I do now to move
Cat
up?
showing his age.
Yeah, listen, I'm 62. I don't care. Listen, when John Ace signed me, what do I do? I'm in WWE. What do I do now? How do I move up? Now I got to see, okay, I got to convince this guy. I got to convince that guy. I got to let these guys, first of all, I got to find out what this guy wants. If he wanted something that I want to give, like I don't want to take these moves right here, I might as well leave now. I should leave now. But the thing is, I was able to work my way through, but it takes people to help carry you along. You ever seen this old TV show used to come on, and you probably haven't because you're so young, you just got a big beard. Have you ever seen this show called Roller Derby?
No.
Have you ever seen that, Ray? You remember roller derby? Where
they
go
around you have a team, and you got this. You got to get your fastest man around that track.
Yeah. So what do? They reach back and grab him, boom, throw him
pull him forward, and then if somebody tries to get their way, they elbow him.
Then they block. It was all. That's the best team sport.
Dude, it was wrestling on roller skates. That's exactly what it was.
But it was the best team team building sport I've ever seen. So listen. You're doing what you're doing, I understand, because where you're at, think about this. You've had time to get to where you are today. You had time to develop your body, your mind, and everything to where you are today, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Don't look now and say, I got to be the only one to get myself in there. You got the politics. You got to talk. You got to have that.
This whole business is built on politics.
Yeah, you got to have the right thing. Once you get in there, see, right now you're sitting where you're sitting, and then somebody told me this. I ain't going to tell you the name. Well, you sitting right now. Who would you sign with if you can? If you could choose the promotion, who would it be?
WWE.
It'd be WWE, right?
Oh, 1,000%.
So guess what? Right now we're talking to you, and you sitting at home and whatever. Listen. 3, 4, 5 years from now, guess what you could be? Walking around like Triple H.
I don't think I'll be the boss of the company in 3 to 5 years.
No, bro, listen. That's one thing we learned in the business. You never turn your back on anybody because you don't know who's going to be running the show.
For sure. And that's what I was saying. I wanted to clarify. I'm not saying, be snooty, turn your back or anything like that. I'm just saying as far as having to ask somebody to like make a call for me, right? Like that's not in my mental capacity of how I operate. Now, if somebody made the call as a favor or whatever, would I be like, oh, why would you do that? Never, not like that. Kat, you know me better than that. But all I'm saying is, I think that it is possible to make it on your own merit. I'm not saying go against the team. I'm not saying if this guy wants to do this finish, it doesn't work for you, change it. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Yeah. I'm not saying to be like that guy at all, right? At the end of the day, the only thing genuinely I care about when I'm stepping through that curtain is the fans. If the fans leave happy, we did our jobs. I don't care about winning, losing. I don't care about any of that, right? So, and for you, Kat, right? Like the entertainment side was always your biggest feature, I guess we could say. So for you is also the fans of, okay, if they leave entertained, I did my job, right? It doesn't matter what else happens. As long as these fans leave and they say, man, that Cat, he entertained the dancing and somebody better call my mama, all that, right?
Yeah,
like
that zesty dance moves he had.
My favorite, you remember the old blonde hair, the old Dennis Rodman look?
Oh, yeah.
Look, hey,
he was real zesty with that blonde hair.
You got that blonde hair now? Lift the Cat. Let me see what's under there.
He ain't got no hair. He's hairless. All right, let's get on to something serious, Brandon. All right, so what is your working name?
So my wrestling name is Brando Calrissian. So it's a play on Lando Calrissian. I am a big nerd, if you can't tell behind me. So I love Star Wars. So when I was deciding on a new gimmick, I thought, okay, this would be cool. People will understand what Star Wars is. They'll connect. It'll instantly be like, oh, like Lando. Oh, okay. That kind of pops in my mind. I remember that.
That's all your social medias is under Brando. Say it again, Brando.
Yep,
What?
Brando Calrissian. So just
Calrissian.
Brando Calrissian. Yep.
Calrissian.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And do you work better as a heel or a face?
Definitely with the new gimmick I'm using, I would say a face. So I typically, genuinely, my overall goal now, kind of like I had a little moment on here, when I'm going to these shows and I'm interacting with fans, whether it be at the merch table or even on a microphone or during a match, whatever. Truthfully, I want everybody in that audience, from kids to adults, to know and feel like, okay, if I ever want to do something, I can. There's nothing stopping me from it. Because I think that's awesome empowerment for people.
Big Ray, I'm gonna tell you this. This is the funniest guy ever. I mean, just in the back, if he can do what he do in the back, talking and cutting up with people, man, he gonna be a big success because he should kill people on that mic. He's so funny. He don't look like it, but it's a different kind. It's a streak. You got to be from the streets, to understand what he can do when it's come to cutting a promo. He's really good at it, man. Instantly.
Yeah. So all my promos, they're always off the top. I never write anything. Because I think that's not genuine, right? So like one of my things is I want to be genuine in the moment with the fans. If I'm saying something and this little kid named Timmy right here is feeling it, guess who I'm gonna target with my next line? Timmy, right? Like I'm gonna make sure Timmy has a memory, because that, once again, at the end of the day, if they remember it and they have fun and they go home and they tell their friends and their friends come, right? Bro, that's more ticket sales. That's more business. That's more this.
That's old school. That's Vince McMahon stuff right there. Vince McMahon wants you to feel like this is not just staged inside the ring. He wants you to feel like this is how you feel. This is what's going on in my life. If he see you in the locker room and you and somebody else about to get into it, he sometimes book you. He'll book that match. And he wants y'all to talk to each other because today you can tell that these guys reading off cards. Yeah. They going over shit they got in their head already prepared. That's good for today. It's like bad acting. Yeah. It's like you watch wrestling now. It's like watching a bad movie.
It's not genuine. You can't connect with it anymore, right? Like when you think back to, who's the greatest character, would you say, Ray? The greatest character of all time?
Character?
Yeah.
If you're looking at like a character that just was envisioned out of nowhere, I would say The Undertaker.
Okay. And for you, Kat, who would you say?
As a character. Sure. Not wrestler, character.
No, just for character. Who would you say, Kat?
Muhammad Ali.
Okay. So both of those guys, right? Muhammad Ali fully believed he could beat any man he stepped in the ring with at any moment in time. Did not matter size, weight difference, none of that. He truly believed, okay, I'm floating like a butterfly, I'm stinging like a bee, right? Undertaker is the embodiment of it was real to him. He never broke character. He wasn't Mark Calloway until he retired, right? So it's genuine. He is genuinely the Undertaker. When you see him in the streets, it's what you see on TV. So that gives you, as a fan, you connect it. You say, oh, like I kind of know this person. I understand this person, right? Muhammad Ali is another great example of, he talked about all his struggles coming up, right? And, being jailed for the stupidest thing that is still wild to me, right? But he made it relatable to where you could understand, and it was genuine that, like, man, like, I want to see this guy win, right? Because Muhammad Ali, if we look back, he could have easily been the heel. Fair to say?
Oh, yeah.
But he's one of the biggest baby faces of all time, right? Mm-hmm. And it's because he made such a genuine connection and he was a real human. He was a real person, right? Do you think Muhammad Ali was writing his stuff down? No. Undertaker, when Undertaker would speak, well after the 90s, do you think Undertaker's getting cue cards, or do you think Undertaker's going out there and he's feeling whatever he wants in that moment, especially when he became the American Badass? That's one of my favorite versions of Taker. Like, that was Mark Calloway seeping through the Undertaker, and hey, I have this side of me too, right? So like I said, I just think when you're genuine like that and you can connect with the audience, I think that just excels you so much further, right?
Brandon, let me ask you something with that big ass beard. Let me ask you this right here. Who would you wrestle right now in a promotion, anywhere? Who would you like to see yourself? Who would you like to work with? Prime time, 8 o'clock at night, Monday night. Who would you like to wrestle? And who do you think you'll work best with?
Honestly, because I just love the physicality, and once again, it's the realism aspect. Gunther. I would
He's
love
wanting
to.
to go. He's wanting to get taken down through there, old school.
Yeah, I would. I love that style because once again, Kat
You
said
think
it
you could
right.
take that chop?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been
Wow.
chopped like that before.
That breaks
it's
vessels on your chest. Ooh.
for sure. For sure. You're gonna take a bunch of them, but I at the end of the day, if I'm standing in there hanging and banging with him and I'm sending chops back, that's gonna be a great resume builder for me, right? So.
So do you really think people can build their resume according to the wrestlers that they work with?
Absolutely,
Or
1000%.
pertaining to the type of match that they had. You got somebody like ECW. Those guys were good because they were doing some crazy stuff in the ring.
Yeah,
Didn't
but
see?
so look
Go
at
ahead.
ECW, right? ECW's biggest draw was the shock factor, right? Nobody had seen
Yeah.
wrestling like that mainstream up until that
Well,
point, and realistically since, right? Like
well,
Blood and Guts was
AEW seemed like that's what they trying to pull a little
so
bit of that out.
they do it sporadically, right? But ECW was every week, every show was in your face, balls to the wall, chair shots, thumbtacks, this, that, right? Just crazy things that nobody was ready for, But then when you look at the most successful people from ECW, right? The Dudleys, your Ravens, people often forget this. Yeah, Rob Van Dam's a great one. People forget, but Stone Cold kind of morphed Stone Cold while he was at ECW. So after he got fired from WCW, when you look at it, once again, those guys were just being real. They were being themselves in those moments, right? Steve Austin was tired of being the Hollywood blonde and the ringmaster and all that. He said, I'm a redneck from Texas who drinks beer and whips ass. That's what I'm going to be. And you know what? I hate my boss. I'm pissed that he fired me. And he started cutting those promos. Go watch his promos in ECW. It's Stone Cold, but with some hair, right? Then you fast forward, and now he's really getting the
do-rag.
he's getting the push of the machine and the great mind that was Vince McMahon helping him kind of fine tailor this, right?
Well, wait a minute. Hold up. You bring up Vince McMahon. Let me ask you a question right now, kid.
Yeah.
You look me in the damn eyes, too.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think wrestling is better with Vince McMahon or without him?
So I'm the person in the room that I separate the artist from the art, right?
What?
Vince, the artist from the art. Can you separate the artist from the
art?
art?
Just answer the question.
I think it's better with him, truthfully.
Yeah. So I will watch it. Listen, what the world needs today is what Vince McMahon used to give a long time ago. Vince McMahon was running WWE like it was like he was mayor of this lost town. And he'd tell everybody what to do. He'll wake everybody up in the middle of the night. Everybody up, you live in my town. Everybody get up. I got something to say. Yeah. I mean, he ran the company like that, man. And it was entertaining because you never knew what was going to happen.
You never knew. And once again, the most proclaimed era of wrestling is the 90s, the Attitude Era. Why is that? Because it was real. People believed it.
Everything seemed produced right now, overproduced. You look at AEW, man, in Blood and Guts. I hear everybody talking about just how good of a match that was. That was a good show. It was a great show. Then they look over and talk about here WWE is, and they got billion-dollar TV contracts.
Yeah.
They charging $4,000 for a seat. But yet they talking about the content not being strong anymore.
You look at the changes. Yeah, you look at the changes of the business, right? Nowadays, it's more like, let's produce something as close to an action movie as we can. Let's try to make this as a 15-minute action movie that people want to see the sequel of in 3 more months, right? The perfect example of that is, the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns story, right? They got 2.5 years out of that storyline, right? And it was because it was overly produced, not in a bad way. I'm not saying that it's a bad way. That
was great.
Yeah, but it's very hands-on producing and writing, and okay, this makes sense for this story plot. This makes sense for this. Oh, how are we going to build back to this, right? And one of the things I preached to my students when we had the school was, especially with WWE, right? Like, they're not showing up the day of Raw or WrestleMania and just putting together a card, right? Like, they have these plans for 6 months to a year out. Now, granted, injuries and things like that can come in and change. But when Cody Rhodes lost to Roman Reigns at, WrestleMania 39, that wasn't just like he's going to lose and that's it, right? They knew, okay, we can get mileage out of this, right? The Rock decided to come back and throw a wrench in the plan, and then the fans, overtook the whole show supposedly. But at the end of the day, still, what did we end up with? Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns 2 as the biggest WrestleMania of all time, right? And the biggest match of all time,
Now, let me interject this. Well, you said they knew months and months ahead, behind time, that who was going to win and what type of match they were going to have. Vince McMahon, listen, not win, but Vince McMahon knew exactly what the match was going to be like, because these guys, before you ever got on TV, you probably wrestled that same match about 4 times around the country.
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 times. All you do is just change the end of it. Okay, go over, you go over. But you have wrestled that. He made sure you knew what was going on in that ring during the match.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? When you think about it, for Vince or for even Tony, right? Like, these are their babies. Think about how much money they've invested into this wrestling company, right? If you were the person who owned the company, would you just want people to go out there and free will it and willy-nilly and do whatever? No, you want to have some kind of structure, right? But in that same aspect, I feel like Vince did capitalize on understanding and seeing, okay, like, the world wants this to be real. What can we do to make this real? Yeah, exactly. And, one of my all-time favorites, because it's past the Attitude Era, it was in that weird Ruthless Aggression kind of mid-2000s. But one of the greatest series of matches to me was Edge versus Matt Hardy, because that was a real shoot story that they then decided to come together and say, hey, look, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we can make a lot of money and grow this company and get a lot of eyes, because TMZ was running with that story. You had news outlets that never touched wrestling that were baffled by, oh, this is real. Like, these guys actually don't like each other, and that's awesome, and that, once again, it still stands out in my mind, the blow off steel cage match they had. Like, I love that match.
When you blur the lines, that's where you get the fans. You got to blur the lines between reality and theatrics.
Yeah. And that's why, Kat can attest to this, but me and him joke about it all the time. Wrestlers nowadays, they're a little bit softer than they were in, his day, and what I like to think of the heyday of wrestling. So, like, when I wrestle somebody, when I find out I'm working you, I go introduce myself. Hey, how you doing? What do you want to do tonight? And the first thing I say after all that is, hey, just so you know, like, I'm going to hit you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm going to hit you in safe places, but you're going to feel everything that I do, because I have to make this, like, look real. Because if a kid is in that audience and they don't know that this is a work in progress together, where we're working together, and we ruin that for them, I don't see how you can live with yourself at that moment. You know what I mean? It's also like, I feel like what you're saying too, where you blur that lines of, if I'm, giving this guy a forearm and it's a good, stiff but safe forearm, and somebody's in the audience is like, oh, do these guys not like each other? They want to see us wrestle again, right? They want to see where we go from there, So, Cat takes a little bit further, because when he kicks you, man, he's aiming to kick your head off. But, that's that 90s.
Not everybody, just you and the Diamond Sheik, and maybe
Hey, man, you ain't been able to kick me yet. You've tried. You ain't succeeded once.
I'm gonna get you right in the back of the head one day.
That's fine. Just know whatever's coming back is going to be tenfold.
I was going to try to get you at WrestleMania, but you had your wife with you, who is a lawyer. So that would have been the wrong day to kick you in the back of the head.
We wouldn't have done anything, because my get back would have been 10 times. That's what I like.
Yeah, kid. I'm tough, kid.
But I have hold on real quick. I have watched Cat. This kid was so nervous to be in the ring with Cat, and found out he was getting kicked by Cat, and he kept coming up to him and, hey, like, how should I take it? How should I take it? And Cat just tells him, just stand there. I'm not even gonna touch you. And then I'm on the apron, bro. When Cat, he kicked this kid's teeth out of his mouth. I promise.
Oh God,
Look at him how he's laughing.
Who was the kid?
I don't even remember it, but this was at District. You know it.
I'm gonna sue you. You cannot talk about bad shit like that on the internet anymore. You can't just come. You can't come on the Cat's Corner and tell lies, Brenda. Get him, Ray.
if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. Look me in the eyes and tell me I'm lying.
I can't see you.
Are you unsafe? Are you unsafe? Are you Nia
my
Jax
days,
all of a
listen,
sudden?
bro, my days in the ring are over. So I can be wherever I want to be. Here, I could say,
Get in at your own risk.
Hell yeah, I kicked him in the mouth. My days are over.
And if anybody complains, Cat, you go, oh, I'm 60. I forgot. I'm sorry. I thought I was in karate.
In there. My short-term vision is not that keen anymore. I ain't have my glasses on.
My Alzheimer's flared up. I'm sorry.
Are you keeping up? Were you keeping up with the current product?
To the most part, I try to. I will say that, once again, this isn't anything personal or negative. It is just what the business is.
Hey, when you say personal or negative, it's going to be that. But go ahead.
No. Truthfully, it's just the way the business is, right? It doesn't bother me one way or another.
Like when somebody says, with all due respect, some disrespectful shit about to come out their mouth.
No, but it's harder to keep up with the product now because you definitely have to have more, streaming services. And now it's, the monthly pay-per-views again and, all these things. So I will say I'm much more well-versed and I tend to go back and watch the stuff that, I grew up on or go back to the 80s and watch things from there or go watch Cat get, beat up by Goldberg on Thunder or things like that. So, but I try to keep up with it for the best.
How are you feeling about this John Cena run, this last little bit? We're 1 month away from him hanging it up.
I love it, man. So I think Cena is, one of the greatest of all time. And not just for what he did in the ring. I think the Make-A-Wish stuff just sets him, so much higher than anybody else. I think that's awesome. I personally went to WrestleMania last year. I saw Cat out there and everything because I wanted to see John's last WrestleMania. Like I said, man, I love what they're doing. I love the heel run. A lot of people didn't like it, but I think you had to be smarter to understand that he was purposely making matches seem bad because he was ruining wrestling for you. That was his whole gimmick. So he was purposely trying to have bad matches. Because when you look at, the SummerSlam match with him and Cody, they tore it down.
The work rate was 15 times better than
they tore it down.
3.
But he was a baby then again, right? So it was, okay, I got to be back to Super John Cena and do all this. So I think his psychology is unmatched. I genuinely, I think I truly do think he's probably the greatest of all time.
All the way around with the mic skills and the 17.
I got another question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think? I know you don't have to answer this, but what do you think? WWE or he gonna stay with AEW? Chris Jericho.
Oh, I think he's back to WWE.
Oh yeah.
I think Cena won the IC title because of Jericho's history with Cena and the IC title. Jericho is the most successful Intercontinental Champion of all time. That's well known. So I think Jericho winds up winning this tournament. I think Jericho takes the IC title off Cena in his retirement match, and then Jericho drops it to somebody and kind of takes his retirement run out.
But with everybody coming in and leaving AEW like that, well, how does that make AEW look less or more?
So I think AEW is in this pivotal point, right, where they're kind of it's time for them to spread their wings and fly in essence of not having to be carried by another bird. Chris Jericho is larger than AEW in essence, right? Yeah, like Chris Jericho was a huge draw for them and a huge get, and they knew that, and they used him very well. And think about all the times Chris Jericho's revitalized his career, especially just in AEW, right? Like he was so many characters in AEW that were all great, right? People can say they hated the learning tree, but that was the point. You were supposed to hate it. You were supposed to boo him, right? Like it made you watch. You kept talking about it. He did his job. So yeah, I think it's time for AEW to kind of get their homegrown stars or, the lesser known New Japan guys that they've signed. And I think they're doing a good job. They still have some, very high class people that are carrying, like Moxley, man, is phenomenal. And, he's doing the job last night, which is awesome. Samoa Joe is.
We ain't talking about him. Let's just say this right now. Let's say that Triple H might see this.
Okay.
Pitch yourself to Triple H.
Pitch myself?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let's just say he's watching this. If he were watching it. Come on, Brandon. Let's see you pitch yourself. Pitch yourself.
With Ray's impression, we're never gonna get that sponsorship, dude. I'm telling you.
What do people want to see that you have? What make you think that people are paid to see what you have? Tell us.
Yeah, man. I so genuinely I believe that nobody connects with an audience like I do. Nobody can connect in that resolute, like I was saying earlier, where I truly am just an everyday common guy who grew up on a dirt road, nothing special. My biggest thing is once again getting out and spreading the message of mental health, and things like that, especially with male athletes or younger males who maybe don't think it's okay to do those things. I think my work rate, as you've talked about, can speak for itself in the ring. I don't think that, I necessarily am the greatest by any stretch, but I'm not the worst either. I'm a company guy to where I show up, whatever you want me to do for that day, I'm going to do. I'm never going to complain. You also know that I'm not a complainer. I think the benefits of bringing me on to a company could be tremendous in the aspects of opening doors for other partnerships with businesses and things like that. Once again, this right here, Happiness Project, right? This is all about suicide prevention and suicide awareness. It's something I wear out to the ring every show I'm on because my goal is to once again bring attention and awareness to those things. And so that's once again a partnership that no company has, right? You never know.
Well, I'm proud of you, bro, and I hope you keep your head up and keep
You're
moving
hired,
forward.
kid.
Because I really think one day we're gonna see you in that ring and doing what you want to do. We might, hell, Donald Trump is president. You might be sitting in the White House one day.
Build the wall. You can help build the wall.
If I'm president, Cat, you can be my vice president. All right.
No,
Vice President Ernest the Cat Miller.
Put me over to Virgin Island. Take Herschel Walker away and just give me that job.
You know why they're called the Virgin Islands? Because I've never been there.
Okay, all right. I actually lived in the Virgin Islands.
Ray, you so zesty today, man. What's wrong
buddy?
with you? He's
testosterone, baby, testosterone.
He's been injecting, he's been shooting up.
Half CC in, baby. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hey, Brandon, listen, Brandon, I'd like to thank you, man, for coming on. I mean, it was fun.
Of course.
The power hour.
It was just good talking to you, man. And we always hear anything going. Listen, I need to come to the game soon, man. I need to come down there. Y'all treated us so good down there last time.
I told you got an open invitation.
Man, I love to come and see the Jacksonville Jaguar. Now, tell us who's your wife? What does she do?
So my wife is the amazing.
Now you don't have to if you don't want to.
No, of course I love her. That's my world. So my wife is the amazing, wonderful, beautiful Mega Park. So she is head legal for the Jacksonville Jaguars. She did some work for AEW. If you're watching this and you're one of the people on the internet that likes to troll my wife, I'm the husband, so feel free to troll me. We can, I'm right here. So that's my wife, man. She's amazing. She's awesome. She also does amazing work as far as, mental health and suicide prevention. She texted me today that they were doing a training about suicide prevention and was so happy that they were doing that. That's the type of person she is. So,
Brandon, you don't know that's what we talk about on here too. Mental health. We've had psychiatrists on here. We've had who else, Ray?
We've had psychiatrists. We've had mental. We've had people that do brain surgeries. We've had all kinds of stuff. People. We've had people.
Look, man. Truthfully, you never know. Once again, this Happiness Project. You can look them up. They're great. I suggest everybody watching, you guys listening, you guys on the podcast, Cody watching and listening right now. Go look them up. Get a T-shirt, man. It's a beautiful company. You never know who needs the help. I was literally talking about this today. I was going through the airport and I had this shirt on, and on the back it just said, "Dear person behind me, like you are valued, you are needed." Yeah, there you go. Awesome.
Thank you.
And so, the world's better place with you in it. And a guy stopped me and talked to me, and we talked for 45 minutes. He wasn't opening up about any struggles, but I could tell he needed somebody to talk to. And you never know how far that goes, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. It's suicide is such a sad, I don't even know the word. Disease.
We've been going through it, brother. I know your wife probably would. Marshawn with the Cowboys. I'm a huge Cowboy fan.
Wait a minute, Ray. What you mean? You not related to
we as a fan base have been going through it since a week ago today, I think, or
Okay.
a week ago today that Marshawn took his life at Dallas.
Yeah.
After scoring a touchdown on Monday night, 3 days later, he's dead, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
that
terrible.
nobody knew. Nobody knew. He didn't.
Yeah. And that's why I want to do this things, man, where I'm so thankful, Cody. Thank you so much for putting that up there. But look, man, don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to reach out. Everybody on here listening, whatever, you got my socials. I am going to respond to you, especially if it's something of that nature. And I'm more than happy to point you in the direction to get more help. I'm not saying that I'm the person that knows all. But seriously, man, like whether you're man, female, transgender, anything, if you feel that your mental health is unwell, please reach out and get help. It is so serious.
You know what we don't do enough of, men and friends? Nobody just pick up the phone and call people no more. Everybody too busy. Hold on, wait a minute. Everybody too busy to make a call. Everybody too busy to text. Do you get calls from me sometime? I don't want anything of just, hey, how you doing?
All the time. And I was just going to point that out on our calls.
You're
another
a good
thing,
man, Ernest.
Another thing men don't do,
you
right?
Like that, Ray, right? Huh?
Kat, how many people that you talk to that are on the phone or your friends or whatever, how many of them say like, hey man, I love you, right? How many people?
No, I mean, they do. I get a few of them now.
How do I end our phone calls every time?
The same way. I love you,
man.
Yeah, I love you, man. Much love.
That's what you want to hear. You want people to call. Sometimes they don't know who to call.
Yeah,
they don't know who to call. They don't want to bother you. But if they can look at your phone number and say, man, I need to talk to somebody, he gonna talk to me. I don't, I'm not about. That's good, man.
Yeah.
It's too hard. So in pro wrestling, you get like that, man. The people don't understand. When I was wrestling back in the day, it was 270, 280 days a year. You on the road by yourself and you missing your family.
Lonely.
And although you making money, you got plenty of fans around you. It's like now you're in the box because you can't just go somewhere and sit down by yourself. You go down, fans gonna be around you, which is not bad. It's not bad, but sometimes mentally you need to be by yourself and just withdraw from the crowded streets and
nobody's bigger than their support system when it comes to family and friends, right? Like once again, talking about when we talk on the phone, like I can't tell you how many times like I see you call and it just brightens up my day, right? Or I've called you and I'm sure it's brightened up your day. So it's just truthfully, man, like if you need help or someone needs help, please reach out. It's you will regret it if it gets too late.
How did people get in touch with you in this project right here? I like the hat.
Yeah, so the Happiness Project, like I said, that's the website. I'm not even affiliated with them, and I'm putting them over like Rover. I truly have no affiliation other than I found the company and bought product, and I love it. And like I said, after having that interaction where the gentleman spoke to me about the shirt and just wanted to talk and just get to know me, and I got to know him, I was like, man, this is beautiful. Like this is what this company is out for. This is what this company is supposed to do, is to create conversations and get this going. And so I genuinely, man, like I think anybody has the power to save somebody's life. You don't know it, right? You never know what the person you're passing by is going through. And one of my favorite sayings is always like, it's free to be nice, right? It doesn't cost anything. I understand that this person may, cut you off in traffic and you want to get mad, but like, what does that do? What does that solve? Just, be nice to them. You don't know what they've going through, right?
Yeah.
So it truthfully, man, you never want to be the person that's, the last straw on the camel's back, per se, or you don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to be the person that, misses the phone call and that, like it's a terrible place to be, man. And, as somebody who's been, low in those dumps and, had those kind of thoughts and things like that, I think back to that and it's like, man, I wish I had somebody back then to reach out and talk to, and luckily I'm in a much better place now. And like I said, it's opened my eyes and helped me come out and, talk about this stuff openly. Because like I said, man, for up until about 2 or 3 years ago, like this was a very scary subject to open up about, right? Like suicide. Oh, that makes me uncomfortable. But like now it's like, man, like if my story or me talking like this openly can help anybody or shows another person about the, the website.
They're not alone.
Yeah. And like I said, if we get one.
Ray, shut up, Ray. Let him talk.
No, I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying it. But if one person is listening or watching and they go and buy a shirt or a hat and then it opens up a dialogue in, Arizona, somewhere I've never been or anything, you know what I mean? Like that's awesome. Who knows what that kind of chain reaction can be, So.
Hey man, listen, Ray, go ahead, Ray. You can't cut the guests off. he was talking some good things. But go ahead, Big Ray. What you
All
have
I
to
was
say?
going to say is most people that struggle with this stuff struggle alone, and all you're really letting these people know is they're not alone. There's always somebody. If they could call the suicide prevention hotline, there's somebody there that's willing to talk to you.
Yeah.
So
24/7.
There,
They
try
never
to get help. Try to
they
get
never
help.
close. Yeah, it's
It's a
truthfully they never
temporary.
close.
It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yeah.
So
Big Ray, have you ever thought about that before? You ever thought about suicide before?
not before, about 3 minutes ago, before you started on me. Yeah.
I'm not laughing. It's a serious matter. Have you, Great? Look, hold up.
I love me some me.
Somebody like that can laugh and joy and say, I never. Those are the ones that's really thinking about it sometimes.
Look,
they hide it because they don't want to
like that. I was like that when I was in Atlanta. When I lived in Atlanta, I got really bad, and my my identity became going out and partying and making everybody laugh. Like you said, I'm a funny guy and street smarts, and I just have quick wit, right? That was my thing. It's like, oh, let me go out and have drinks at the bar and just make friends, right? Like he said, it doesn't solve anything, man. And ultimately, like I said,
bro.
Yeah, ultimately, once I finally figured that out, like I said, now I see the real solution is talking about it, making awareness about it, right? Because once again, I don't know why, but like up until a few years ago, for everybody, maybe 5, it was just like an uncomfortable subject that people didn't want to speak about.
Therapy is good for everyone. I mean, I encourage everyone that has any kind of an issue. The saddest person is the clown, by the way. Not a lot of people know that, but
Absolutely.
you see the clown, they think he's the happy-go-lucky or she's the happy-go-lucky. 9 times out of 10, the clown's the saddest person there.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like I said, that was me for a good period of time, and
that's me. I'm the clown. So I get it.
See, that's why I asked you. So listen here, Brenda. I want to thank you for coming on, man. And whenever we had that doctor back, boy, I'd love to sit with the doctor and the psychiatrist and talk to him and see, like, maybe they hear me talking about this, but some people don't know how bad it is in pro wrestling.
Yeah,
it could be
bad.
Man,
it's not like, I don't want it to get lost that this is just a pro wrestling problem, right? Like, this is a global, epidemic, right? And it affects everybody, right? And it's whether you admit to it or not, like, everybody has some level and form of depression. Everybody's had a day where they're just like, oh, I don't want to do anything, right? Like, that is depression. You may not diagnose it as that, but that's why I'm saying where it's good to talk about those things, because you don't want to let it build and fester and continue to grow, and then it becomes something that is irreversible, But yeah, it is a huge thing in wrestling. I mean, you think back to the 90s and early 2000s, how many wrestlers did we lose to suicide, right?
Wow.
Whether it be drug overdose, and you can say, oh, it's a drug overdose, that's not suicide. Like, no, they were trying to kill themselves. And like, it's terrible, man, because like, once again, if more people had been open and talking about it back then, like, who knows who would still be alive today, right?
Correct.
So like I said, man, it's beautiful. I'm Kat, you're an amazing human being. I love you to death. Ray, you're a great guy as well. This is our second conversation. I hope we get to meet in person. Again.
Absolutely. Maybe when the Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Cowboys again, we'll come back down there and hang out.
Listen, Brenda, I'm glad you came on, man, and thanks for coming. I hope somebody listening to this and it touched them in a way, not just talking about you and your wrestling career, but that's a large part of it too. I wish you the best for that.
Absolutely.
But it's a struggle, and that's what you're doing. But Ray, like Ray said about me, I came in a little different from you, but I went through that same struggle.
Yeah, you had to learn on the fly.
Like I had to learn on the fly. I had to do it, getting paid a lot of money. What people expect for you to be.
A lot of pressure on you too, because you didn't want to let nobody down, Kat.
Exactly. So it was a different way. But when you start talking about what you're doing now, I said, just be patient. If it's for you, it's gonna come.
And that's the thing, man.
Exactly.
And I'm in no rush, and I can never be ungrateful to wrestling, because, like I said, if nothing else, man, I met my amazing wife through this avenue, and I can never ever be more grateful than what I am for that. And I've met amazing lifelong friends through it. I've done amazing things. I've met my heroes that I grew up watching wrestling, right? Kat can attest. He had Goldberg call me to wish me congratulations on my engagement when me and my wife got engaged. And I was crying on the phone like a baby,
He's a huge Goldberg fan.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
that's my guy, man. That was my superhero growing up, you know. Ray with all his impressions, man.
See, he on drugs.
He's not on drugs.
Either his
Look,
wife yelling at him.
you said you
She's
shot
ready
up
to go eat. I know
5.5
that. Speaking of
cc's. So.
wives,
Okay,
I gotta
all
go see
right.
mine.
Hey, let's get off here, baby, so Ray can go eat. And
Thanks for
Brandon,
joining us on
thanks
the
for
Cat
coming.
Corner podcast.
Thank you, guys.
For Ernest the Cat Miller, I am Big Shug Keziah. We've been with Brandon. He's all about wrestling and he's all about mental health. Y'all check him out on all his socials. And thanks for joining us. And tune in next week when we'll be back with more stuff.